So page 27, circle the ones that are bigger than a half. Okay, circle the ones that are bigger than a half. So looking at those, excuse me, looking at those, which ones are going to be bigger than a half? Well, what's half of 6? 3. 5 is obviously bigger than that, so that one should be circled. Just give me other ones that where the top number is more than half of the bottom number.
5/8.
Yep.
2/3. 1/8.
No.
Oh, it's not greater than
What's half of 4, Landon? Or 8, excuse me.
4.
Okay, 1 is less than 4. Missing a couple. Actually missing 1.
3/7. 4/9.
No.
3/7.
Nope.
3/6.
You're guessing.
That's 1/2. I actually circled.
It's 4 over 7.
What?
It's 4 over 7.
I don't think.
So you look at the denominator, guys, you're looking for a number that's more than half of it. How do you know if a fraction is greater than half? Look at denominator. Top number is more than half of it. So I should be able to come up with any number, and you should be able to tell me if it's more than half or not. So here's an example. Look at the denominator. What's the denominator?
The bottom number.
60. What's half of 60?
30.
So is that more than that, you think, or less?
Less. More.
31 is more than 30. So this one is more than a half. That's how we do that. All right, number 3. Placing these fractions in the boxes. Okay, let's look at the negative side. You got 2 options that are going to be negative. Negative 9/10 and negative 7 over 5. They're going to go over here in one of these 2 spots. Which one do you think goes where? Here's the 2 negatives. Which one goes where?
9/10 goes in between the -1 and 2.
Negative 9/10 would be negative 0.9. That would have to go there. 7 divided by 5, I think, is about negative 1.2. So that's where those 2 would go. All right, let's look at the next one. What's 8/3? What's 8 divided by 3? How many times does 3 go into 8?
24.
How many times does 3 go into 8?
2.
2, right? So it's going to be 2 point something. So where does 2 point something, where would that go?
Between the 0 and 1.
No, you just told me it's more than 2. It's 2 point something.
I don't like 2 and 3.
Yeah, more than 2 would be the right of 2. 2 divided by 5. What's 2 divided by 5? Well, is it going to be more than half or less? What's half of 5? It's half of $5.
$3.
What's half of $5?
$3.50.
2.5, right? Is 2 less than that or more than 2.5?
Less.
2 is less than 2.5, so it's going to be less than a half. 2/5 goes here. All right, you got 2 spots left. What's bigger, 4 divided by 7 or 11 divided by 6? 11 divided by 6 is bigger. That's going to be almost 2. So that goes there. 4 over 7 goes here. Problem number 4, which one's bigger? The first 2 should be easy. 3 over 5 or 2 over 5? Which one's bigger?
Wait. Oh, I was looking at the number.
3 over 5. Denominators are the same. Just look at the top number. 3 over 8 or 6 over 8?
6 over 8.
Next one's a little tougher.
1.5 equal.
They are equal.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
Can get a common denominator if you want. 3 over 6 equals 3 over 6. 9 divided by 2 or 2 divided by 9?
Equal.
Not equal.
Yeah, I was just supposed to say it would be like 9 and
Remember, 9 divided by 2.
2 over 9.
9 divided by 2 is about 4.5. 2 divided by 9 is 0.2 something. Certainly 4.5 is bigger. All right, up next. Label these fractions on a number line. Well, where does half go?
Right in the middle.
All right, let's look at the next ones. 1 divided by 3, 1 divided by 4, 1 divided by 5, 1 divided by 6, 1 divided by 7. Are those all less than a half or more than a half?
Less.
They're all less, so they're all going to go over here. So let me ask you this, since they're all labeled here for you. Landon, you're shooting trap.
I just shot 29 last night.
Which one is going to be the worst percent? 1 out of 3, 1 out of 4, you hit 1 out of 5, you hit 1 out of 6, you hit 1 out of 7.
1 out of 7.
1 out of 7 is the worst, so that's going to be the lowest.
Here, you get a
Or
ball.
shooting free throws, you hit 1 out of 7. That's the worst percent.
Yeah.
You're on a quiz, you get 1 right out of 7 questions. That is the worst you can get. If you get,
Oh, that makes sense.
okay, what's the next one?
1/6.
And then,
1/5.
And then?
1/4 to 1/3.
there you go. All right, question number 6 is the exact opposite. Again, mark a half. Again, here, guys, these are all bigger than a half. So now these are all on the right side of a half. So Kira, which is going to be the best percent on a quiz? Get 2 right out of 3, 3 out of 4, 4 out of 5, 5 out of 6, 6 out of 7. Which one's going to be the best?
6 out of 7.
Yeah, that goes furthest to the right.
5/6.
Yeah, just go in order. Explain why it makes sense that 1 out of 7 is less than 1 out of 6. Why does that make sense?
Because it's 1 bigger.
Yeah, I mean, if Landon was talking about shooting trap, if you hit 1 out of 7, you hit 1 out of 6, you missed more in the other one. There are more 7s. If you make the marks between 0 and 1 than there are 6. Number 8 says if you know where 0, 1, and 1/6 are, how can that help you find 5 out of 6? How can knowing where these 3 are help you find 5/6?
Times.
Yeah, so if this is 1/6, what would the next mark be? What's after 1/6? 2/6. And then 3/6, which is a half. And then 4/6. And then 5/6. Can tell you how many spaces there are. It's just a little bit less than 1. It's 1/6 less than 1. However you want to say that. Again, problem there we already have done. All right, next question. 1/8 more than 0 is 1/8. What is 1/8 less than 1?
7/8.
Very good. Remember, 1, that would be the same as 8/8 in this case.
Oh, I could have said 8/8 too, or is that number 1?
That's the one. It's got to be 7/8. Yeah,
The other one is
8/9.
Very good. All right, next question. What's bigger? 7 out of 8 or 8 out of 9?
7 over 8.
8 over 9.
8 over 9 is.
Here said it first.
8 over 9 is correct.
It's funny how I say it wrong and they're just like, oh, I know the answer now.
Be quiet.
You gotta let the ladies and go first. So I'm a name. Well, if you get the answer wrong, then I'll get it right.
All right, next one says find 3 fractions that are between it. Between 7, 8, and 1. Well, you just told me one.
8 over 8.
8 over 8 is 1. You said 8 over 9.
8 over 9, my bad.
Okay. Now kind of look at the pattern here. 7 out of 8 to 8 over 9. What would the next one be?
8 over 10.
Nope.
10 over 8.
Nope.
Wait. 9 over.
Oh, 9 over 8.
9 over 10.
9 over 7.
9 over 10 would be more.
Oh, 10 over 11.
Yeah.
There you go.
Woohoo!
It's 3 examples. Doesn't have to be that. But those will all be between there. All right, the next 8, just putting a symbol in there.
Can we do these on our own?
I would like you to try those on your own. I'll give you a couple minutes, and then we will discuss.
Oh, I know these
Oh, I know these ones. I think we're all done with the number.
All done already?
No.
I don't think you are. All right. Hopefully you got some of them done. Now remember when I ask you which way, say the right symbol and don't say, oh, I said the wrong one, right? Greater than is this way. Less than is that symbol. This is equal. Let's go around. Landon, I'll give you the first one. Less than is correct. B. Maddie.
1/12 is greater than.
1/10 is greater than.
What?
A 1 out of 10 on a quiz is better than 1 out of 12.
Oh.
Right? Kira, what's going to be better on a quiz? 9 out of 10 or 11 out of 12?
9 out of 10.
Incorrect.
It is?
11 out of 12 would be better.
How?
Because it's higher up. You get higher bonus points.
Landon.
Greater than.
No.
That one was tough.
Well, what's half of 9?
3.
Nope.
I don't know. I just. 3.5.
Nope.
4.
4.5. Okay, so 4.5 is half of 9, right?
Yeah.
This is going to be more than half. Maddie, what's better on a quiz? 1 out of 5 or 1 out of 7?
1 out of 5.
Kira, 2 out of 5 or 2 out of 7?
2 out of 5.
Lando,
Yep. 6 over 7.
Maddie,
17/18. Let's go. I only got one wrong.
Are you breaking?
All right, next one.
Sure, you know you're not supposed to.
3 out of 9 or 4 out of 9? Which one's bigger?
4 to 9.
Yep, so 3 over 9.
3 over 9.
4 over 9. Now we got to decide 3 out of 4. Is that going to be a lot bigger or less than these?
Less. No, more.
Should be more. That's a 75%.
Yeah.
So smallest to biggest should be those 3. How do you know? Well, 3 out of 4 is the only one that is going to be more than a half. That means it's the biggest. The other two are obviously 3 out of 9, 4 out of 9. They're the same denominator. That's easy to see. All right, we'll do one more, then I'm going to have you try one. Smallest to biggest. What do you think is the smallest? 1 out of 8, 1 out of 7, 5 out of 8.
1 out of 7.
Okay, what's going to be the worst grade on a test?
5.
A 1 out of 7 on your paper?
1 out of 8.
1 out of 8 is going to be the worst. That's going to be the lowest. And then 1 out of 7, yes. And then 5 out of 8 would be the best grade. You can always think of it as grades.
Is that what you think?
Sure.
Sure, that's not right.
Next one. This one's a little tougher. We'll do this one right away together, too.
Well, I figured it out.
So I'm going to make a common denominator, guys. I'm going to put them all over 12. So how do I get from 6 to 12?
That'd be 5, 12.
How do I get from 6 to 12?
5 by 2.
So what's 5 times 2?
10.
3 out of 4. How do I get to 12?
3,
Times 3. What's 3 times 3?
4,
9.
3 times 3 is 9.
10,
All right, so now they're all out of 12. What's going to be the best? 5 out of 12, 9 out of 12,
5 out of
10 out of 12. Which one's going to be the best?
10 out of 12.
Oh, 12.
10 out of 12 would be the best. Oh, that's not a choice. I got to write 5 out of 6.
Wait, hold on. I think I actually got this right. So first I put 5 12s, and then that. I did get it right! I'm too smart. I should be doing 9.
Can I write that down?
What? I figured that out. Mr. Milburn said that was the toughest one. You're just jealous.
Jealous of what?
Why you got to be so rude?
Or it could be boring inside of class.
I'm going to put this on YouTube, and they're going to think that the actual singer was here. It's probably going to get blocked. All right, Lando.
Yeah.
0 plus 1.
7, 8. 7, 8.
I just asked you 0 plus 1.
Oh.
1.
Thank you. And then you were trying to tell me this one?
7 8.
Okay, so what's 1/8 plus 7/8?
1.
Good job. Good job adding, Landon.
Those are easy, okay? Okay, now if we do 18 on our.
Yes, 18 on your own. You're at circle the ones that add up to 1. You did that already?
Yeah.
How many did you get?
Don't lie.
That's how many I got.
Let me finish.
All right, don't look up here. Maddie, I'm going to ask you. Just nod your head if I'm supposed to circle it.
I got 5 too.
Same.
Those 5 are correct.
Too good.
Very good. Next one's a fun problem.
Since we did so good.
Hey, it's kind of like a little map.
No.
Let's got to follow the directions, Landon. I know this can be difficult. Follow directions. All right. These clues will lead you to a treasure. Follow the directions to make a map below. Exactly halfway between the home and the school, draw the sun. Easy enough. Halfway between home and the school. Here's home and school. Halfway between, draw the sun. Do that.
Draw sun.
So, my son is going to be awesome.
I'm gonna draw shades on my sun. You know, all you have to do is really time.
I want my my son to be big and round. You go for it.
My son got shaved.
Okay, exactly 1/3. Oh, I should maybe mark that that's halfway. 1/3 of the way. Draw a moon. Sorry, 1/4 of the way. 1/4 of the way. So how many spaces is it from home to school? Count them.
12.
Too many.
12?
11.
Should be 12.
12.
Okay, so what's 1/4 of 12?
You know how I do that?
What's 1/4 of 12? What is 12 divided by 4?
3.
That's where your moon goes.
Where did 1/4 come from?
That's 1/4.
All right, now be careful. Exactly 1/3 of the way from school, starting here, to home. We're going to draw a star from school to home. So there's 12 spaces.
Fourth one from school.
Fourth one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Draw a star.
Here's on the wall.
Now, what fraction would go there?
Like,
Nope, it's 1/3 from here.
you.
How far is it from here?
Like,
So what's 1/3 less than 1?
12.
What's 1/3 less than 1?
2/3.
Yes. Draw a triangle around the shape that is halfway from home to the sun. So look at home and the sun. Which one is halfway between there?
With a moon.
So draw a triangle around that shape, it said. Draw a square around the shape that is 2/3 of the way from the school to the sun. Which one is 2/3 of that way?
Star.
The star. And obviously, if one of these would be in the wrong spot, we'd be in trouble, right? They're all depending on each other. Draw a tree 1/3 of the way from the triangle to the sun. So look at the triangle and the sun there. They're 3 spots apart.
It's the first dash.
Right here. What am I drawing?
The tree. Oh, that's a good tree.
What fraction is that? So it's 12 total divided by 4 spots.
2/3.
7 12.
12 divided by 4.
3.
Oh, I said 1/3.
You're just choosing random numbers that you see at the bottom of this question. Because you keep saying 5/12 and 2/3.
Yeah, because I'm looking at those right
Yeah,
there.
we're not to that, Landon.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
All right.
where the treasure's at.
Draw a bird halfway between the square and the school. Square, school.
Right there.
Yeah. Is that a bird?
Yep. Now what fraction is that? Let's count if we go every other how many spaces it is. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6.
Okay, and it counts how many it takes to get there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, Draw an X halfway between the bird and the tree.
It's right there. No, go a little bit. No,
In
no.
between the sun and
Yeah.
the
Here.
Yeah.
Bless you. What fraction do you think that is?
5 or 2/3.
Now let's count, okay? You said there was 12 at the beginning, right? 1 out of 12, 2 out of 12, 3 out of 12, which is 1/4, 4 out of 12, which is 1/3, 5 out of 12, 6 out of 12, which is a half.
12.
So number 9, Landon, since you've been staring at those numbers all day, where is the X? 7 out of 12.
7 out of 12. Oh, we still didn't figure out.
All right, next one, just to kind of show you how this would work. Halfway between 8 2/3 and 10. So because the bottom number is 3, I'm going to put some lines in here to divide it into 3. So this would be 8 1/3, 8 2/3, 8 3/3, which is 9. 9 1/3, 9 2/3, 10. All right, that's why I put 2 lines in here, because I broke it up into thirds. So 8 1/3, 8 2/3, 9 1/3, 9 2/3. So what is halfway between 9 2/3 and 10?
9 1/3.
9 1/3 is correct. Next one, what's halfway between 4 1/6 and 5 1/6? So my denominator tells me how many lines I need, right? I got to divide it into 6 spots between the numbers, so I need 5 lines between them. 6, good. 1 2 3 4 5 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6. All right. So the denominator tells you how many to label. Here's 4 1/6. You can label all of them if you want. All right, halfway between those two numbers.
No, not 5.
5.
5.
Yeah, it was 5. I was right.
5. All right, I'll do one of the next ones, and then we'll work on our assignment here. We've done enough. Number 1's kind of a done for us there. Let's go to the second one. Let's go to 23. I'm closer to 2 than I am to 3. So it's in between 2 and 3.
2 and 5.
Okay, so it's going to be around 2.5. Use W. So do you think it's going to be less than 2.5? Or more
Less.
than 2.5? Why less?
Because it says it's closer to 2.
Yeah, absolutely. It says they're closer to 2. So W is less than 2.5 or 2.5. Remember, if we're going to draw it on a number line, it is a open circle, because it doesn't include 2.5, because that would be exactly in the middle. That would be exactly in the middle. All right, your homework starting on page 30. Pretty self-explanatory. Done a lot of these questions already. Let's do one on J. How many spots are between like 4 and 5 here?
6. Oh, I know. I was kind of
3.
4. 4.
1, 2, 3 is correct. 1, 2, 3. So this bottom number is 3. So that'd be 4 1/3. 4 2/3. 4 3/3 is 5, and they're all going to be like that. So we can just answer here R right away. That is 4 2/3. So follow that pattern will help you to solve that.